Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history.
Well, February of this year marked record low border apprehension numbers. In the first full month of President Trump's second term, 8,300 border apprehensions were recorded, as compared to that time last year, which saw 141,000 apprehensions. That's a 94% decrease within the span of a year. Through a series of executive orders, including sending troops to the border, President Trump has slowed illegal border crossings to a trickle. KGUN 9's Pat Paris takes a closer look.
Apprehensions along the southwest border are down dramatically compared to a year ago. The vice president of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto, tells me that has allowed agents to focus on patrolling the border again.
So obviously the morale with the agents is much higher than it's been in a long time.
Based in Tucson, Art Del Cueto represents the 16,000 Border Patrol agents who belong to the National Border Patrol Council. He says agents were spending the majority of their time dealing with a record number of migrants crossing into the U.S. the past several years.
The frustration amongst the agents was that they were stuck in the processing centers, and they were hearing sensors go off in remote areas, knowing that drugs were coming into the country, knowing that there's other individuals that were coming in.
Since Donald Trump's inauguration, illegal crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border are down to their lowest level in decades. But Del Cueto says that doesn't mean the cartels are letting up. He's concerned about reports last month of Mexican cartels shooting at Border Patrol agents across the Rio Grande in Texas, and the use of drones by the cartels surveilling Border Patrol agents.
That should be our number one concern. Agents are out there, they take an oath to defend our nation's borders, but, you know, they need to make it home at night.
Well, Del Cueto is the vice president of the National Border Patrol Council. He recently retired as a Border Patrol agent here in the Tucson sector. He just returned from Washington after discussing the needs of Border Patrol agents with lawmakers as they work on a budget.
We're trying to get across is making sure that the agents get, properly funded, proper retention, and the equipment that they need.
Pat Paris, KGUN 9.
Well, about 400 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border runs through our neighborhoods, directly impacting our community, and the border crackdown is creating mixed feelings.
I'm not going to wait until they deport me, and I
not accept mass deportations, and we're here to stand with our community.
This is going to affect our budget.
What do these children do? What happens to them?
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement making arrests across the country, planes full of migrants being flown out of the country, even Guantanamo Bay being used to hold detainees. A downtown business feeling the effects of immigration and the crackdown early on, the Department of Homeland Security serving a notice of inspection to La Endita just weeks after Inauguration Day to make sure their employees have the legal right to work in the U.S. KGUN 9's Vanessa Gongora spoke with a restaurant owner about their experience with the agents.
This sign went up after Homeland Security paid La Endita a visit. The owner says she wants other businesses to be aware and prepared.
If you think it's not going to happen to your business, you're wrong. Especially, we felt targeted because we are a Mexican and we have a Mexican indigenous restaurant.
Denise Schaefer rushed to La Endita after an employee called saying Homeland Security was there to serve an audit.
And basically what that means is that they want us to hand over all our employee verification paperwork.
Schaefer's attorney met her there. She says it's legal to request I-9 forms, but the notice didn't seem official.
They had just scribbled out somebody else's address and written in the address of La Endita restaurant on top of it. And I said, this could be anything. Anybody could have done this.
The agents returned with the forms corrected and told Chef they wouldn't speak to her as an attorney without a G-28 form.
The G-28 is a notice of appearance in an immigration case. And I asked if there was an immigration case, and he said no. And I said, well, then you don't need a G-28. And he admitted that, in fact, he did not.
I reached out to HSI. This was their response. It's part of an ongoing investigation, nothing further to add at this time. Schaefer says her business has nothing to hide and was preparing for an audit, but didn't think it would come this quickly.
We've been in business since 1983, and we've never received an inspection of this form.
She has 3 days to hand over her employees' paperwork. Schaefer and Chef say they want other businesses to know their rights.
So you don't have to answer any questions when they serve you. The agents are not allowed to go further into your business than the lobby without a warrant.
Chef says if you need help, call an attorney or the rapid response team. Reporting in downtown on Stone and 4th, Vanessa Gongora.